What's good, YouTube? Today we're gonna be reacting to solving the stupidest debates. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's get into it.
If there's one thing people like to do on the internet, it's argue.
Alright.
And I personally think a lot of these debates can be looked at objectively. Now, some questions are obviously deeper than others.
Other niggas had your bitch outside.
It wasn't my bitch.
Then shut the f up in 2020.
Okay.
You sound dumb.
But as you read the title, these are ones that I consider stupid.
Where's the parachute?
I thought you said pair of shoes.
And ones that can be answered pretty easy.
Okay.
But when I look at some of the most popular arguments, I realize that we really just be fighting about anything.
Alright.
Water. Is it wet? Is water wet has to be a troll? What
Nah,
do you mean
not
is
wet.
water wet?
Not at all.
And for the people that are still
Always
confused on
had
my
this argument
stance,
at school, bro.
yes,
It's not
it
wet.
is. I don't know about you, but this looks pretty wet to me. Yes, the
Okay.
implications of something being wet is a solid interacting with the liquid and making
Right.
it wet. But deep it though, even though water is a liquid, water is covered in water, right? When was the last time you had one water molecule? If you're gonna sit here and tell me water's dry though, you are a complete jester. Anywho, next question. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Now, if you're not a complete lunatic, everything in your mind is telling you a hot dog is not in fact a sandwich. But it's the
Right.
same sort of thing as the is water wet argument. You know, like the definition and the outline of what a sandwich is would technically make a hot dog a sandwich. That would be
Okay.
if a meat rocket was not its own category of food. Do not put meat missiles in the same conversation as sandwiches. Just look at the way
I think
you
it's a
eat a
taco,
sandwich
low
versus
key,
how you eat
by
a
the
meat
way it's
rocket.
built.
These are two very different experiences. And also,
Okay.
sub technically has that same sus shape to it. And most people
Right.
will consider that a sandwich. In my personal opinion, subs are way more sandwich-like than a glizzy, and Franks
Okay.
also only have one bun. It's not even close to being a sandwich if it only has one bun. I would say that's closer to a pizza than a hot dog is to being a sandwich. But I was already pissed off reading some people's backwards logic for why a hot dog is the same as a sandwich. But then this nigga has to say it's a taco.
Look, some people
That's
need to
literally
be
what I
gone,
just
bro.
said.
You know what I'm talking about? In order for shit to get better. He one of them.
Chat, I promise you, I did not watch this video before, bro. I did not watch this.
For our next debate, this is a pretty recent one that went really viral. And that's 100 men versus one gorilla. And from my
Okay.
observations, this one is like a 70-30 split, with 70% of people believing the gorilla would win and the other 30 believing the men would win. But personally, I think if you had like 60 people all dedicated to f***ing up this gorilla, I don't think it stands even a chance. One gorilla
Okay.
versus 100 people. Bro, 100 people is just overwhelming numbers. You got 2 people grabbing each arm, you got 2 people grabbing each leg, someone kicking straight meat. Like, tell me I'm not onto something. Okay, I was in fact not onto something. The original plan was just to glaze 100 humans and talk about how we would just overwhelm the gorilla, but I took it to myself to ask ChatGPT for help. And in order to get a representation on how difficult it would be to fight the gorilla, I asked what animals as weak to humans as humans are to gorillas. And since a gorilla is roughly 4 to 9 times stronger than a human, ChatGPT
Right.
came up with a common marmoset. Now, what the fuck is a marmoset, you ask? I was picturing something maybe the size of a small dog.
What the dog doing?
Why is it the size of a human hand? I am easily clearing through 500 of these. But then again, I'm also more
Okay.
intelligent than a gorilla, so I'll at least have some strategy. So who
Right.
knows, bro? Until I see 100 men fight a gorilla, I'ma just have to leave this one open. But for our next debate, I'm not gonna give it any build up. It's this fucking dress. And if you see black and blue, you're lying, but the dress is in fact black or
Okay.
blue. You know, just because one thing is one way doesn't mean the same thing can't be another way.
What the hell are you talking about, bro?
Because, yeah, the debate has been closed for a minute now. The person that took the original photo took another one and said it was black and blue. And it was, in fact, the lighting of the dress that affected how it looked. And I'm not even trying to be different, all right? But
Okay.
I'd honestly say the dress is gold and blue. And I knew I wasn't tripping, all right? Color Select says that's the colors that are projecting into my eyes. So, yeah, the real
Right.
dress is black and blue, but this ass photo is gold and blue. And another debate that is cereal soup. And before you even say anything, yes, I know the argument, solid food inside liquid, served in a bowl. Technically, that is soup behavior. But we just all
Okay.
know cereal is not soup. If somebody hands me cereal and calls it soup, I don't trust the hands that prepared that food. Okay, on to our next debate. How many holes does this shirt have? First of all, what kind of fucking shirt is
4?
this? This is some shit niggas
5?
would wear if it was Rick Owens. But I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie, this one's more like a riddle because a lot of people forget to include the hole in the neckline and the sleeves and underneath, you know. Most people would
Okay,
say it
okay.
has 2 holes, but it actually has 8. So this wasn't really a debate until people started
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
arguing on whether a hole is just one hole, if it has an entry and an exit. But for the answer to
Right.
this question, I'll simply have to say that holes don't actually exist. They're nothing but a concept, alright? Because think about it for a second. A hole is literally just the absence of something. It's not a thing you can
Right.
hold, it's not a thing you can grab.
Firmly grasp it.
It's just where something used to be, but isn't anymore. Which means,
Okay.
technically speaking, a hole is just nothing.
Nothing.
But now my brain's overheating, so instead let's just move on to a debate that's somehow
Okay.
even more pointless, but also way bigger.
Massive, dude.
This is probably one of the biggest debates of all time, and it's gender wars. Who is
Right.
better, woman or man?
Alani finding out of Orem, Utah. Let's go, baby.
And it all seems to be the same thing, alright? Women saying all men are like this, men saying all
Not
women are like
bad.
this. And at the root of it, it's just clearly a human problem. But apparently
Right.
that's not a good enough answer, and no one will stop until there's a clear winner. So who is objectively better? In order to decide this, I've decided to borrow this power comparison system from this One Piece edit. Now it was used to compare Roger and Shanks. We're gonna use it to compare man and woman. Before y'all
Okay.
complain, this is a very scientific system. 9 and 10 doctors approved. And now we have round 1, strength. Now the men are gonna take this first round. The heaviest weight ever lifted by a man being 510 kgs, and the heaviest weight lifted by a woman coming at close at 325 kgs, which is still
Okay.
insane, by the way. If somebody told me to pick up 325 kgs, my spine would just Gwen Stacy. But sorry, ladies,
Right.
the men are gonna take this one. And for round 2, we have speed. Okay, let me just stop. Because at the end of the day, fighting about gender is so pointless. Because what is the desired outcome here? The complete annihilation of the opposite gender? Because last time I checked, the human race requires both sides of the argument to even continue
Exactly.
existing. And what I find so stupid is these giant overgeneralized statements that would imply an entire gender is just the scum of the earth. Like saying kill
Right.
all men.
What I do?
That would imply there's never been a good man that's ever lived ever. Just the
Okay.
addition of the word some does so much. But people don't do it because it doesn't rage bait hard enough. And rage baiting
Right.
is the reason that 90% of people do gender wars, even if they realize it or not.
Call me delusional, but I think 100 girls can easily beat that gorilla.
And I've heard
Shut your mouth. You know damn well. You know damn well.
arguments like it's not all men, but it's enough. Which, what is the implications there? You saying I'm one of the good ones?
That's gotta be racist. There's no way.
But look, even if 100 men or
Okay.
women did you the worst 100 times in a row, they still another 4 billion men or women. And now those 100 grimy
Right.
niggas now represent the other 4 billion. And the end result of this is just two groups of extremely online people convincing each other that the opposite gender is a different species.
The older I get, the more I
Alright.
realize that women are humans.
But finally, for our last debate, this one might actually be the stupidest one yet. But the question is, if you punch yourself and it hurts, are you weak or strong?
If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a
Not
bike.
sure.
You know what? You know.
This debate is so dumb. If you punch yourself and it doesn't hurt, that doesn't prove you're strong or
If I ride a bike, is the bike riding me or am I riding the bike?
weak. And neither does punching yourself and being in pain. The only thing you're proving is that you're not incredibly weak. But listen, right? If a kid around the ages 10 to 13 haymakered my unsuspecting chin at full force, right? It's most likely going to hurt. That doesn't
Right.
mean the kid is stronger than me. It just means I got punched in the face. Unless it's one of those kids like in East Bay at 12 years old. Okay, maybe he was stronger than me.
How old are you, man?
But also, if I
What?
was to swing full force at Eddie Hall, former strongest man in the world, Big Brother guy. Now, this is gonna go one of two ways. If my theory's correct, I knock this guy clean out. If not, my hand is goners. But I've been told I end my videos
Alright.
too suddenly. So,
Alright, YouTube, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know the dumbest questions you have or debates. But yeah, subscribe to the main channel. Let's say 1,000 by the end of the year. And on this channel, we're about to hit 100 subscribers. Make sure y'all subscribe with notifications so you guys get more reaction videos. Go check out the Twitch. That's where we're always live, almost on the daily. Peace.